Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be discussing another frequently asked question that I saw a lot when I was working at the Social Security Administration. It's in regards to retirement benefits. So as somebody is approaching the age of 62, a very common question is, how soon can I file my application? All right, and so we're going to just dive right into it. So this is, here we are again at SSA.gov, okay, and it's pretty straightforward. The earliest that you can apply for retirement benefits is 4 months before you want your benefits to start, okay? Now, in this case, we're going to go with, this is kind of saying it differently than what's the earliest I could start in general. So this would be more like, to me, when I read this, I think somebody's already past the age of 62. Maybe they're retiring in a couple months. And yeah, the answer is still 4 months, but if you're not yet 62, then that's still really not asking the question in general. How soon can I actually apply for a benefit? Regardless of kind of the circumstances of, let's say, work or something like that, let's just do it in like a general sense, okay? So 4 months in advance. So what does that kind of look like for some people? Okay, so we're gonna go over a couple more policies here real quick. This is policy RS00202.010. Okay, and this is an important piece of information. It's called the throughout the month rule. So in a lot of Social Security's benefits, specifically their life benefits, you have to meet the criteria needed for any given benefit throughout an entire calendar month. And you could see it here in section B, subsection 3, when it's talking about age 62. An individual born on the first or the second day of the month can be entitled to benefits for the month of their 62nd birthday. Birth on any other day in the month precludes entitlement for that month in which the birth occurred, since the individual would not be 62 for the entire month. So what does that mean? Okay, so I have an example here. All right, so for your application, I'm filing. So in example 1, let's say that you're born on the 1st or the 2nd of the month, right? So how does that throughout the month rule apply to that person? So if you're born on the 1st or the 2nd, let's pretend that your birthday is February 1st or 2nd of 1962. So that means that you're going to turn 62 in February of 2024. And because what that policy is saying is if you're born on the 1st or the 2nd, they're going to consider you 62 for the entire calendar month. So that means that your earliest month of entitlement is February. So that's the earliest month that your benefit can be effective. That means that going back to the first screen on SSA.gov, you can file your claim 4 months before that month, basically. So October if you knew that you were going to file for Social Security retirement benefits as soon as you turned 62, October of 2023 would have been the earliest that you could have done that. So if let's say that you called in August and you had an appointment in September, whether it's over the phone or whether it's in person or maybe you're filing online, they won't be able to adjudicate your claim until October 1st, because that's 4 months prior to your earliest month of entitlement. Okay, so if you did that and your month of entitlement was February of 2024, that means that your first payment is going to be in March. Okay, then if we come down here, I have another policy as well that goes over the payment cycles, because that's another very common question that people ask. Okay, is when can I be paid? All right, so in this policy, which is GN 02401.001, general information on Title II checks. So Title II means retirement, survivors, or disability benefits, or anything that falls under that umbrella. What would not fall under that umbrella would be SSI benefits. SSI benefits are paid on the 1st of the month, regardless of when you were born. Okay, so you're always going to get an SSI check on the 1st of the month. If the 1st falls on a weekend or a holiday, then you get paid the day before. So an example of a holiday would be like New Year's. So realistically, anybody on SSI, they'll probably get, if New Year's, let's say depending on the way that it works out, like last year, I believe everybody receiving SSI benefits got 2 checks in December, basically. All right, so hopping back to Social Security benefits. So you can see here in Section 2, it's pretty much going over the different payment cycles and stuff like that. But I made it just real easy, okay? So if you're born if you're born 1943 or later, so before 1943, you will get paid on the 3rd of the month, right? So if if maybe you're approaching the age of 62, you probably had maybe one of your parents got paid on the 3rd of the month, or maybe aunt, uncle, grandpa, something like that, grandmother. They would have gotten their payment on the 3rd of the month. So after 1943, that's when they start to break up these payment cycles, right? And this is realistically, as time went on, the Social Security program and their beneficiaries became a bigger demographic, so they had to break up the payments a little bit, all right? Otherwise, it would have just been overwhelming. Okay, so if you're born between the 1st and the 10th, you get paid on the 2nd Wednesday of every month. If you're born between the 11th and the 20th, you would get paid on the 3rd Wednesday. Between the 21st and the 31st, you get paid on the 4th Wednesday of the month. So let's go back to our example here. You're born on February 1st or 2nd of 1962. You take your benefits right away. Your first check is in March of 2024. So because you're born between the 1st and the 10th, that means that your first check would have been March 13th. So yesterday, basically, at the time I'm recording this video. All right, so that's how that would have worked. Now in the second example, let's say that you're born the 3rd of the month through the 31st, okay? Now, the 62 throughout the month rule won't be, even though you turn 62 sometime in February, your earliest month of entitlement won't be until March. That means that the earliest that you could file your claim would be 4 months in advance, would be November, and your first payment wouldn't be until April. Then let's hop over to the calendar. I'm not sure if it's going to get cut off by the screen. Right? So again, the 3rd through the 31st, you're either going to get paid on April 10th, 17th, or 24th. Right? And then as the calendar year goes on, you can kind of see it's not an exact date. I can't stress that enough. It doesn't go by the weeks in the month. It goes by the Wednesdays, right? So some people, as I work there, and I'm basically telling them their pay cycle, people would basically repeat it back to try and, I guess, hammer that nail in and remember when they're going to get paid. And they would say, okay, I'm going to get paid on the 3rd week of the month. That would be incorrect. It would be, as an example, it would be the 3rd Wednesday, not the 3rd week, right? So you can see in March, the month started on a Friday, but there's other months. Let's say that the 1st was on a Wednesday. There might be 5 weeks in that month then. So here we go in May, right? The 1st is on a Wednesday. That means that the 2nd Wednesday of the month, so if you're born between the 1st and the 10th, right, it's the 2nd Wednesday, so that's May 8th. Then let's go to June and see what it is for June, right? It would be the 12th. So you can see as time goes on, then July would be the 10th. So it can go back and forth just depending on how many weeks are in the month and when the 1st falls, realistically. So if the 1st falls on like the 2nd or something like that, you know that Wednesday is going to be an early Wednesday in the month, all right? And then I think there might have been one more policy. No, I think that's pretty much it, right? So all of this is from their website. Here's a brochure, when to start receiving retirement benefits, but I believe that jumps into something else. It's more of like a chart. Yeah, so it's like charting your benefits and as time goes on. But as far as answering the question of when is the earliest that I can file, it's 4 months before your earliest month of entitlement if you're approaching the age of 62, okay? Now, it's an important thing to note that is in regards to basically a life benefit. There is no throughout the month rule as it pertains to death benefits. Let's see if it's in here as well. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Control that might be labeled as survivor benefits. Nope. Let's see if we can see that exception in here. So if you're filing for benefits as a widow, and let's say you're turning 60 this year, and you're born on the 3rd through the 31st, they're going to say, okay, your earliest month of entitlement is February. They're not going to push it back to they're not going to push it back another month if you don't meet that throughout the month rule.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your bell notifications so that you're always notified whenever I'm posting new content. If you have a question or want me to cover another topic, please leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to address it as soon as possible. Thank you so much and have a fantastic day.